everyone. Welcome back to Learn Haitian Creole. I know it's been a while since I did a video, and I apologize. But today we will cover accents in Haitian Creole, okay? So the accents on the letters, we call them grave accents. In Creole, they're called Aksan Fòs, okay? So in Haitian Creole, we have the accents on the letter E, the letter O, and the letter A. And the accents actually change the sounds of the letters. And in certain cases, when words are spelled the exact same way, the accent changes the meaning of the word, okay? So we're going to get started. Our website is learnhaitiancreole.com, where we're going to have the text in case you guys want to read them. We also have translation services. If you guys are looking for translation services, it's LOYERKLS.com. And if you look at our cover, okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. It pretty much tells you what picture you're looking at. And in some of them, you can see where the word changed because of the accent. And so, for example, with K and Ke, the spelling is almost the same except for the accent, except K is the tail and then Ke is the heart, okay? So I have the Creole words bigger than the English words because the goal is to get you to not always want to translate words from English to Haitian Creole, but to get more comfortable with the Haitian Creole word. Okay? So we're going to continue. So accents are really important in Haitian Creole. And I see a lot of Haitians do this. I see foreigners do it, especially with the capital letters. They tend to do away with the accents. And it's kind of like it doesn't matter. But really, it does matter, and it can completely change the meaning of the message you're trying to convey. So do not skip the accents. So like I said in the beginning, we have 3 letters in the Haitian Creole alphabet that sometimes have accents on them. So we have the letter E, we have O, and then we have the letter A. So you'll find that there are many words in Creole that have the accent on the letter E, and we also have that on the letter O. And it's not as common on the letter A, but it does happen when, for example, the sound for the letter A in Haitian Creole is ah, okay? That's the sound. But if it's an, then it's right? So the accent on the A can change the sound from to ah. So here are the differences when it comes to sounds for the letter E. When the letter has an accent, the Aksan Fòs on top of the E, or when it doesn't have it. So pay attention to the accent on the E. So this is another mistake that certain people make. The accent is facing backward, not forward, okay? So like in French, for example, we have the accent grave, like the grave accent, and then they have this other accent that we learned in school in Haiti. They call it accent aigu. So the aigu is facing to the right, and the grave accent is facing to the left, okay? So the Aksan Fòs in Haitian Creole, it faces left, not right, okay? And this is what gives it the S sound. So anytime you see the letter E with the grave accent or the Aksan Fòs in Creole, the sound of the E is similar to the short E sound in English, which is E. So you would have bed, right? Bed is caban. Again, I'm just adding the Creole words just to build your vocabulary, okay? So bed has the S sound. We have yes, which is we in Creole. You have jet, which is avion. You have rest. Rest is reposer. You're resting. Maybe you're sitting on your sofa, you're relaxing, you go to your bed, you lay down, you're resting, okay? And rest is also the rest of something, like the rest of your food, okay? And in Creole, that's res, R-E, with the accent and then S, okay? We have pet in Creole, which is bet. It has an accent on it. So the fact that pet and bet has the accent, that's just by accident. So with the accent, it's similar to the short E sound in English, and it's eh. And you have to make the sound eh, otherwise it can change the meaning of the message, okay? When the E doesn't have the accent, the sound is A, like the long A sound in English, right? So you would have waist, cake, tape, place, shake. Like all those have the A sound. So when you have the E without the accent, then you pronounce it as A. When it has the accent, it's E. You see the difference? E and A, right? So you will have waste, which is gaspiller, wasting food. You're wasting the food. Wap gaspiller manger. Cake, which is gâteau. The cake is good. Gâteau a bon. Tape. We also say tape in Creole. We literally say tape in Creole, but it's just spelled differently, right? In this case, it's T-E-P. And then we have place, like a place, a location. In Creole, it's place, okay? And then we have shake, which is souke in Creole. But you get the point. The point is not really to talk about all these different words. It's really to give you the sound. So when you see it, you know exactly how to pronounce the word. So like I told you in the beginning, the grave accent can change the meaning of the word. So in addition to the sound being different, the meaning can also be different. So in this case, I picked 3 words, right? So in total, I picked 6 words, right? But they're similar to one another, right? So the difference are the accents, right? So here we have jouer, right? Jouer, J-W-E, means to play, okay? You have a child, they're complaining, and you say, go play with your toys, okay? Al jouer ak jouetou, okay? Once that E has the accent, it no longer means play, it means player, right? So you can have both words in the same sentence, and they mean 2 completely different things, but if you skip the accent, then people are like, what is this person trying to say? Jouer. So once it has the accent, it becomes jouer, which is the player, right? Jouer, jouer bien. You see the difference? Jouer, jouer bien. The player plays well. Ke, right? Ke with the accent. It means heart, like literally your heart, okay? If you skip the accent, it means tail, like the tail of a dog, of a cat, a horse, it means tail. Do you see how the meaning completely changed just because of the accent? So it doesn't make any sense to skip the accent just because you think it doesn't matter, because it does matter. Then we have dirt, right? Dirt is te. T-E with an accent on the E. It means dirt. T-E without the accent means tea, or anything that's past tense, that's already in the past, okay? you understand the importance now. So now we have the letter O. With the letter O, you have some words in Creole that do not have it, and others have it. Okay, so when the O doesn't have the sound, the accent in Haitian Creole, it has the same sound as the long O sound in English. It's simply O, right? Like rope, road, soap, right? So one of the things I remember doing in Haiti as a kid was jumping ropes. Sauter corde. You're jumping the cord, right? And I remember those days where we didn't have those fancy cords that people have here. Our cords were more similar to maybe the cords they have for the boats. Like if you're ever on a boat, you see those big cords. Ours were just smaller, okay? And they were like thinner. And so we would be jumping and, you see who can keep going, like who's going to stumble and who's going to get hit by the cord. And there were times where you would have partners. Like we had partners where you have a partner, you go in, and then at some point you jump out, your partner jumps in. If the cord hits you, then you lose. So that's rope. It's O sound, okay? Cord. And then when you have road, which is lari. If your kid's going outside, you said, don't go in the road, okay? Pal na laria, okay? You have soap, savon. Children, sometimes they forget to shower with soap. You tell them, don't forget to use soap. Pa bliye utiliser savon, okay? So then you have some words where it has the accent on the O. So then the sound is O, right? It sounds more like O-R, like or. Without the R, it has the O sound, like door, which is pot in Creole, or fork, which is fourchette in Creole, or more, which is police in Creole. So it's really important that you pay attention to these accents because the pronunciation is completely different and the words can, the meaning of the words can change as well. So this is a situation where the accent changes the meaning of the words. So here we have 6 words. They're spelled exactly the same, except one's going to have an accent on the O, the other one will not. So first we have B-O-N, right? So anytime you see B-O-N, you think it means good. Okay, the sound is bon. On is a nasal sound. So you say bon. But if you're talking about a maid or a servant in Creole, you would add the accent on the O. So then it's not bon anymore, it's bon, like b-o-n, bon. So I love to add culture to my videos because I think if someone is interested in learning a language and they want to interact with the natives, the Haitians, I think it's important to understand what's acceptable, what can be offensive. And in this case, the word bon. I personally would not call anybody bon. It's used in Haiti like it's a normal word, it's a regular word. But it's pretty much a servant or a maid. But to me, I find that some people use the word like it's a way to put someone down. Like it's a way to show that someone is uneducated and they have less value in society. They're less respected, So like, example, because I know Haiti, we have different, social status. Not everyone's poor. So then you have certain families where there's a servant, right? They refer to the person as a servant. The person serves them at the table, and they say thank you. It's like please. They refer to the person by their names, and things like that. And then you have the other side where someone might be working for a family that's probably a lower status, and or less respectful, right? And that person is a bun, right? So then that bun, they can pretty much like assault the person, right? Sexually, physically, they can assault the person. They call them names, disrespect them, and they probably look less clean because they get paid less, and it's like the morale is just not there. So if you meet someone who's working in a house, like a housekeeper, right? I would refer to them as servant, right? Which is more respectful because they are a servant. They're serving. It's a job. It's a, I don't want to say it's a good job or it's a bad job, but it's clean, right? Like they're not stealing anything. They're working for money. It's a job. And they deserve respect. So I would call them servant. I wouldn't call them bon, because that just kind of, like the job becomes part of their identity in a way, and it just tells a different picture of who the person is as a person, as opposed to just somebody working to make a living. Okay, so when you have bon without the accent, it means bon, like the food is good, right? Manger à bon, right? Then you have mo, right? Without the accent is mo, because remember, without the accent, we're using the long O sound, right? So it's mo, which is a word, right? But once you add the accent, it means it's mo. Mo is a dead body. Like when someone dies, and people talk about them, some people say défunt, right? Anytime somebody says défunt, the person has died. And there's just this idea in our culture that if you are talking about someone who has died and you don't say défunt before their name, then it's like they're on a path to a place and you're disturbing them, and it's like they have to turn back around, right? So the idea is you have to say défunt. I personally don't say it. I'm not too superstitious in that, in that sense. But mort is the dead body. Like I went to the funeral and the person who died was wearing red, like a red dress. Mort te mette yon rad rouge. Okay, then you have faux, right? F-O, no accent. It means something that's fake, right? Once you add the accent on it, it becomes faux, right? It's oh now. It's not oh, it's oh, because there's the accent, and it means loud, like musique la fort. The music is loud. Or my child is really smart, in school. Petit moyen fort l'école, right? They're very smart. They're very good in school. So these are the differences for the letter O. Do not skip the accent on the letter O, because it can change the meaning of the message you're trying to convey. So now we have the letter A, right? This is our last one. There are only 3 in Creole with the accents. So the sound for the letter A is ah, okay? It's just ah. And it's really almost like it's always ah, right? Whether it has the accent on it or without the accent, it's always ah. But here's the difference, though. The ah has the accent when it's followed by the letter N, right? So, for example, in the Haitian Creole grapheme, the which is a nasal sound, is pronounced like an. An is pronounced right? Once you add the accent on the a, then the remains So then it becomes an, right? So instead of being it's an, right? So let's take this example. So you have avoine, right? Avoine is oatmeal in Haitian Creole. I've never liked oatmeal since I was a kid. I hated avoine. It was my worst nightmare. My mom made it a lot for supper, and I still don't like it. But I eat it now because I'm older and I know the benefits, but I still don't like it, okay? So avoine. So without the accent, you would read this avoine, right? But because the word is pronounced avoine, which is really taken from French, you have to add the accent so the remains so it doesn't become right? And then we have pan. There is an accent on the a, right? So instead of it being pa, like because an is it becomes pan, which is when something's not working, right? So you have a flat tire, pan caoutchouc. Caoutchouc is tire, right? The tire's not working. Your refrigerator breaks down. Pan frigidaire. Frigidaire en pan. The fridge is not working. Your car breaks down. Maybe the engine is not working. Machine en pan. Okay, it's when something is not working. You wouldn't use it for your relationships though. Like if your relationship is not working, you can't say my relationship is in pan. No, you can't do that. It has to be for something physical that's not working. Then you have tisane, right? Growing up, I always thought tisane was simply a tea, but apparently it's not a tea. There's a difference between tea and tisane. Apparently, it sounds complicated, right? It's an infusion. So this is something my mom used to do for me, and I honestly do it for my kids. I like to give them. I like to put hibiscus flower in hot water, and if they cough, I give it to them, right? And apparently, that's not a tea, that's a tisane, right? But then if I give them green tea, then that's a tea. It just sounds so complicated to me, but without the A, like the accent on the A, it would be tisane. But because there's the accent, you have to pronounce it tisane. Okay, if you don't put the accent, somebody's gonna read tisane and they're gonna be like, "What is that? That's not a Creole word at all. That's not even a Creole word." So people will get confused, like, "What is this person trying to say?" You know, do not skip the accent. So if you look on the right, you have some words with the A without the accent, right? So you would have sa, right? There's no accent on the A, so it's not sa. It's sa, right? Sa means blood. Your blood is your sang. It also means 100, and it also means without. $100, $100, okay? Without. M'brale sans ou, okay? I'm going without you. You have anana, pineapple. Now, you notice here the an is not it's still a. So it's not anana, although some people may say it. I don't know. I know in Haiti, we have different cities and certain places have different accents, like especially in the north. They have really like a lot of differences in the accents. But I noticed in Creole, if an is followed by a vowel, then it remains It's not And then if it's followed by a consonant, like your B, C, D, F, things like that, then it becomes right? Like in this case, an is followed by a, which is a vowel. So then it's anana. It's not anana, right? It's not ana. It's anana, okay? Then you have pantin. Pantin is to be shocked. Like you go in a room or you tap somebody on the shoulder and they jump, right? Pantin. Pantin. Like people use it a lot in Haiti if they were sleeping and then they jump from their sleep and then they say m'pantin. M'pantin na dormir. M'pantin. Okay? It means to be shocked or startled. But notice here, obviously there's no accent on the A's, so there's no right? The an becomes But the first part, pan, is followed by t, which is a consonant, so it's still pa. And then ta, it ends with so it's pantin, okay? Pantin. So here are a couple of examples of where the accent on the A can change the meaning of the word, right? So here you have crâne, right? Crâne is your skull, right? And some people, of course, the word is taken from French, right? And some people just say zotet. Zo is bone, and then tet is head. So the bone of the head, right? But, you can also say crâne, which probably a doctor would use that. But I use crâne. I say crâne. I don't say zotet. It doesn't mean I can't say it. I'm just not used to saying it, okay? So crâne, crâne tête, the skull, right? Because it has the accent on the A, it's pronounced kra. Even though it has the an, it's crâne, right? Notice on the right, once you remove the accent on the A, now it's kra, right? Completely different meaning. The one with the accent means skull, right? And then the second one means guts. Like you have guts, you have courage. Like if someone wanted to dare you in Haiti, a lot of school kids do that. They say, si ou gen cran, fel. Like if you have the guts, do it. Like it's more like a threat in a way, right? If you have the guts, then do it, and this is what I'm gonna do to you, right? So it's cran. Then you have plan. You have plan, and then on the right you have plan, right? Because the accent on the A makes it so it's plan, okay, which is pawn something, like a pawn shop. Whereas on the right it's plan, which means something completely different. It means to have plans, right? To make a plan. Notice here, if you ever want to use the word plan, pay attention to how you can use these two words because they really have to do with putting something in the pawn shop, but you use them differently. So planer. So as an American, if you read it, you're like, oh, that's an airplane. No, it's not. It means to pawn something, okay? Moi planer, verb, right? Radiumna. I pawned my radio. But if I want to say I'm taking my radio to the pawn shop, then I don't use planer. I use plan because plan is the place, right? It's the place where I take my stuff, and then if I pay the money back, then they return my item to me. If I don't pay the money back, then they can do whatever they want. They can sell my stuff, okay? So notice the difference here. If you are doing it like there's action, I did this, plané, right? And then if you're going to take it to the pawn shop, then it's plan, okay? Okay. So in this video, I want to do something different. Some of you have been following me for years. Some of you are in my Facebook group. So thank you for that. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate the questions. And I do my best to answer every single comment and every single question. So on this page, we're going to do some reading. Pay attention to the letters, to the sounds, to the accents, okay? You have the meanings in purple. In English, they're smaller because my goal is to get you away from translating every single word, to put the Creole in front of you more than the English because you already speak English, you know? And then in red, I have the same message in red, but I'm giving it to you the way a native would say it. Because some people say, I don't understand when my friends speak. They speak so fast. And it's true, we do. And a lot of time, it's not because we speak fast. I don't speak fast at all. But I do, like, I eat my words in a way, right? Some people say Americans eat their words. Okay, so Haitians eat their words, right? If you like that term. So watch this. So the first sentence, you say, Jodia, mwen te li de liv. Today I read 2 books, right? Te in this case, remember I told you before, te had more than one meaning. So here it doesn't mean T, it means past tense. Because I'm not talking about T, so your brain should not go to T. It should say past tense. I read 2 books, right? So this is me trying to read what's in front of me. Jodia mwen te li de liv. So this is me talking to my friends. Jodia mwen te li de liv. You get it? I didn't say mwen. I say Jodia mwen te li de liv. Done. Finish. Right? So if you don't also know that mwen and are the same thing, then you're going to miss the message. Okay? Now, next one. Te. This one has an accent, so it's okay? Te na la kua rouge en pile. This is how any native would say it. There's nothing to change here. There's nothing we can change here. There's nothing we can shorten here, okay? Te na la kua rouge en pile. I might say it faster. Like if you're reading it, you might say te na la kua rouge en pile. Me, I'm going to say te na la kua rouge en pile. The dirt in the yard is extremely red, okay? Now, watch this one. Pe bouchou. Be quiet, right? There's no accent on the E, so it's A, right? Me, as a native, I'm going to say pe bouchou la. And you might say, where did the la come from? That's just how a native would speak. Pe bouchou la. Like, do it, you know? It doesn't mean like do it here, do it there. It just means be quiet. Okay? And that's how a native would say it. Pe bouchou la, right? Pea te chante yon bel messe. Here we have the accents 3 times on the E's, right? So they're all eh. Whereas the one before chante, which is te, is past tense. It's still A. It's not eh. Pea, the priest, te chante, sang, yon bel messe, a beautiful mass. Okay? This is how a native would say it. There's nothing to shorten here. Okay? Avoine trop douce. I'm not going to shorten that either. There's nothing to shorten here. Avoine trop douce. The oatmeal is too sweet. Now, mwen leve de main mwen en lait. Oh, that sounds long. I could never speak like that. It would take me too long to get my message across. M'leve de main en lait. You see the difference? I remove mwen. I say leve de main, and then I remove mwen a second time. M'leve de main en lait. Yeah. It means I raise my 2 hands up high. Okay? Now, notice there's no past tense here. I didn't say mwen te leve de main en lait. But this could also mean I raised my 2 hands up high. You could also be talking in past tense without saying the word te, because it's implied that you had already raised your hand because you're talking about it. It was already done. Combien is how much? Combien l'eau? This is another one. L'eau. Lo is a pile of something. Pile of mangoes, potatoes, plantains. Combien lo pomme de terre is potatoes? Pomme de terre yo. How much are the piles of potatoes? I wouldn't shorten that. Now, you see the word lo here? There's no accent on it, so it's lo. If you ever see L-O with an accent, it means gold. It doesn't mean a pile. It means gold, like gold jewelry, okay? So don't skip the accents. L'autre jour, the other day, you see? This is not lot, it's lot. L'autre jour, mwen te rele ou. That is too long for me. I don't want to say mwen. It's too long. And sometimes we don't even want to say te. We just say the T. But in this case, I'm going to say the T. I'm going to say te. L'autre jour mte rele ou. But I'm a native, right? So I'm not just going to be like, I'm just going to say this word and that word and so people can follow all my words. I'm just going to tell my friends, l'autre jour mte rele ou, oui? And I'm going to say it in that tone. L'autre jour mte rele ou, oui? It's like, I called you, Yeah. So in this case, I would add the we. Does it add anything to it? I'm not sure, but that's how a native would say it. And then in your case, you're like, well, why'd you say we? And most Haitians will say, I don't know. It just makes sense. Watch this one. So here you have machine na genye pan caoutchouc, right? The car has a flat tire. I'm a native. I don't have time to say genye. That's too long for me. I'm going to say gen. Gen is short for genye, okay? Machine na gen pan caoutchouc. Done. And I'm going to say it very quickly. Machine na gen pan caoutchouc. And you might be like, oh, what happened to the car? I didn't hear genye. No, gen is genye. It's short. That's how we shorten it, okay? Tisane nan chaud, okay? The infusion is hot. Epi li goût, and it tastes good. That's how I would say it as a native. Watch this one. Est-ce que ou pêche? Est-ce que ou pêche? Est-ce que ou pêche? See, I'm a native. I'm not going to say, est-ce que ou pêche? No, I don't have time for that. Est-ce que ou pêche? You almost missed the ou when I said it, right? But I did say it. I said, I almost made ou and est-ce que in one. Est-ce que ou pêche? Est-ce que. It almost sounds like I'm saying est-ce que, but I'm not saying est-ce que. I'm saying est-ce que ou pêche? Est-ce que ou pêche? I just said it too fast, okay? Or, a lot of my friends, they don't have time to say est-ce que. Obviously, every time you say est-ce que, you're asking a question, right? People know it's a question. But I don't have to say est-ce que. I do have a video on questions, if you want to watch it. I can just say ou pêche, but it's my tone, right? It doesn't sound like a question. It's my tone. Because if I can say ou pêche, I made a statement. Ou pêche, I'm telling you, you're scared of dogs. I don't know, maybe you're screaming because you saw my puppy. I say, oh, ou pêche, you're scared of dogs, right? If I want to know if you're scared of dog and I don't want to say est-ce que, I'm going to say ou pêche, and then I end it like a question. And you understand it's a question because of my tone, okay? We have let la épais en pile. Épais is thick, okay? Let is milk. You see? Look at this one. The E in let has the accent, so it's right? Let. But look at épais. Épais, the first E doesn't have the accent. So it has the long A sound in English, like A. And then the second E has it. It has the accent. So it has the short E sound. Épais. Not épais. If you want to write épais for thick, like you want to say the milk is thick. So for example, I'll give you an example here. Let's just say I want it to be lazy, right? And I say, okay, I'm going to write let. I'm going to do let. Let la, and then I put E-P-E, en pile. Then I just said the milk sword a lot. And it's like, what is that? Because épée is a sword. It's a long sword that you would use to fight. It wouldn't make any sense, right? So it makes the accents make a huge difference. Oh, you're gonna love this one. This one's complicated. Well, it's complex. Joseph, which is Joseph in English. Joseph Gayen, right? Again, as a native, I'm not saying Gayen. Joseph Gayen plan pour li aller. Oh, too long for me as a native. I don't have time to say li aller because I can shorten li and I can shorten aller. By radio lia. Oh, I can shorten li again. Na plan. Joseph Gayen plan pour li aller by radio lia na plan. If I speak like that to my friends, they're going to be like, what's wrong with you? So, I'm a native, and I'm just going to say, Joseph gen plan pour l'albay radio la na plan. Ah, did you see the difference? It's almost like I didn't even say the same thing, but I did. Joseph gen, I replaced gen with gen. Plan, pour, li ale, pour lal. Usually it almost sounds like one word, but it's not one word. Poul al. Now, I know poul means chicken in Creole, but because of what I'm saying, a native would know I'm not talking about chicken. I'm talking about Joseph's plan to go somewhere. Poulal by radiola. Radiola. I'll do another video on the articles. Like la, na, things like that. Na plan. Okay? Joseph gagne plan pour li aller by radio lia na plan. That's me just reading whatever someone put in front of me. Now, me speaking as a native, Joseph gagne plan pour l'al by radio la na plan. So, I ate my words, right? In a sense, I ate my words. Gen yon moun ki vole bous mwen. Oh, this one can throw you off, actually. This one can throw you off a lot. Gen yon moun. Yon is one. One person. Yon moun, one person. Gen yon moun. And here, I can even say gen yen yon moun. If I wanted to, I could even say gen yen yon moun. Okay? To make it longer. Gen yon moun ki vole bous mwen. Someone stole my purse. Okay? Notice here, I didn't say gen yon moun ki te vole bous mwen, which would make it past tense, because if I'm telling you somebody stole my purse in Creole, that means the purse was already stolen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it. So in this case, there's no purpose in adding te vole bous mwen, right? Because it's already implied that it's past tense. You could add te, but I would not, because it doesn't serve a purpose. The message is already given because it's already gone. You know, it's past tense. It already happened. So, gen yon moun or gen yon moun ki vole bous mwen. So, I'm the native. I'm not going to say all those words. I'm going to say gen yon moun ki vole bous mwen. Listen to this closely. Gen yon. Gon. You see the difference? It almost like I'm saying gon. I'm not saying gon. I'm saying gen. Gon moun. Gen moun. Gon moun. And all my Haitian friends and family, they'll understand me. Gon moun, which is genyon or genyon. Gon moun ki vole bous mwen. Gon moun. See? But it's not gon. Okay? It's not gon. Don't say gon. It sounds like gon. But if you practice it, you will get it. Practice that with your friend. Gon moun. Gon moun. Because I didn't say gon moun. I didn't say gon. I kind of went slower after the G. Gon moun. Gon moun. Gon moun ki vole bous mwen. Okay? Now, we have law. Remember the L-O we talked about earlier? Law. Is gold. Law sa faux. Faux. Which is fake. Now, you put an accent on that O by accident, it's going to mean something totally different. Like, it's going to mean something that's strong, that's loud, or, a smart person. Okay? So, we have élève sa fort en pile dans mathématiques. For is like this person is really good at math. They're really smart when it comes to math. The student excels at math, and this is how I would say it as a native, because there's nothing here to shorten. Okay? Okay, well, thank you for staying with me. I appreciate it. This is the end of our video. If you have any questions, comment, email me. And I hope you learned something new today. I hope you pay more attention to the accents in the future, especially when it comes to reading and, texting, putting words together. So my email is learntospeakcreole@gmail.com. Okay, you can join our Facebook group. That's a long number. So it's facebook.com/groups with an S /66337308791820. On Instagram, you can find me at instagram.com/learn_Haitian Creole. I also have a podcast that some people seem to like. Thank you to everyone who listened to my podcast, and thank you to those who take the time to give me feedback. I really, really appreciate it. And that's how I found out you guys appreciate the fact that I bring culture into my videos. So I really, really appreciate the feedback, and I appreciate your support. Go to my website, subscribe anytime I have a post. So anytime I have a YouTube video, I try to do a post online in case someone wants to see more text. Like people learn differently, Like for me, I can't listen to somebody speak. I don't learn that way. But if I read something, then I'll make sense of it. So I do post text for people who want to see it, people who want to go back to it. And then also we have translation services. If you need translation services, Creole to English or vice versa, you can visit us at LOYERKLS.com. And I thank you again, and see you in the next video. Okay. I know Thanksgiving is coming up, so happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, Happy New Year if I don't do another video before 2026. So whatever holiday it is that you celebrate, have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye.